So this got us thinking about recent disasters here in the Pacific Northwest and frankly how they're becoming more and more common, and the numbers back it up. The National Center for Environmental Information keeps track of weather and climate disasters in the U.S. that total over $1 billion in damages. That's the threshold. As of October, there were 18 of those so far this year, and that includes the heat wave, the drought, and the wildfires in our region over the summer. Last year, there were 22 disasters costing more than $1 billion, the most ever recorded in a single year. So we're on par to hit that number again. Let's take a look now at the disasters over the last few decades. In the 2010s, there were about 12 major climate disasters per year. In the 2000s, we averaged about 6 per year. In the 90s, it was 5 per year. In the 80s, it was about 3. So it's clear the frequency of climate disasters is increasing with climate change. And we all know Oregon is not immune to this at all. The heat wave, the wildfires, the ice storm, we could go on. And we've all lived through these last few years. So it's something that the Portland City Auditor's office is paying attention to. They just released a report saying the city is not prepared to meet the needs of people with disabilities during these emergencies. They used the pandemic emergency as a starting point, but they also expanded their study out to what would happen during natural disasters. And I spoke with City Auditor Mary Hole Caballero about this.
The big issue is that people's lives are at stake. And we have wildfires and we have tsunami warnings, and we're having all kinds of issues that we may not have had. We have a pandemic. And so first and foremost, people's lives are at stake, and they are people with unique needs, and they're a high-risk population. And secondarily, the city is obligated to provide equal access to services to people with disabilities under the federal law. And we found that they were not prepared to do so, and that creates a risk of liability for the city as well. The city should have plans in place with the specific unique needs of people with disabilities. They have lots of plans in place, but we found that they had not covered things like notification to people with disabilities. So to do that, you have to know generally where your population of people with disabilities, where are they, what their needs are, how to notify them in the event of an emergency, how to ensure that they can be evacuated should an evacuation be necessary. All of those things are not specifically accounted for in the plans. And there's a huge missing link that the people with disabilities and their representatives have not been engaged in the process of developing the plans.
Yeah, she says that's huge. They have not been engaged. So Caballero says she wants the city council to address these problems and make sure that Portland's disaster plans are in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. She also included a pretty lengthy and detailed list of the steps for the city to take in her report.